Um, Obviously, disappointed in the outcome Saturday, but not disappointed in the effort we played with. I felt like for the first time since maybe 2013, since I've been here as head coach, that's probably the most effort we've played with in a football game. And the challenge for us moving forward is, can we do it again? And that's what we talked about last night in meetings. Um, but I was very, very proud to the point where I got emotional after the football game of how we handled everything, how we went into a hostile environment and played a very good football team. I think that we're a good football team. Um, we learned a lot. Now what we have to do is we have to be mature enough to continue to get better against a football team in Shorter that's coming in here this weekend. It's a big game for us because it's the next game. It's a big game because we would love to obviously to get a win and be back at get our first conference win of the season, get another home victory, and get back to 2-2 on the season. And we're in a 7-week cycle here, and we're going to take them one at a time. And we haven't started obviously the way we would like to, but we do know a lot about our football team. We've been tested the last 2 weeks, and we played better between week 2 to week 3. And like I said, if we can maximize the focus and the effort which we played, we didn't play perfect by any stretch of imagination. That ball game came down to about 4 or 5 plays, and they made them. We didn't, but we had opportunities, and hopefully we'll learn from that and move forward. But I cannot say enough how proud I am of this group of men that went over there to Carrollton last week and performed the way they did. So we're excited about this week, and we're ready to be back at home, and hopefully it's going to be a big crowd, and hopefully it's a rowdy crowd, and that's what we're excited about moving forward. So I'll answer anything everybody's got.
Coach, what was the mindset of the team yesterday coming back in and looking at film?
Disappointed. Disappointed. Left some stuff out there, and they know that. You get in games like that, and that was a war. I mean, that was a heavyweight fight, whatever you want to say. But we went in there and took a lot out of us. So we've got to find a way to get it back together and put it behind us and get ready for another opponent here who's very, very multiple on defense. They run about every defense known to man. Struggled a little, I guess, offensively. But you hope they don't find their stride here this weekend. So.
To improve the mindset, has anyone stepped up as a leader that you're maybe surprised about or not?
No, not really. We had some guys step up. It started last week. I kind of challenged everybody and said at some point for us to take the next step, we have to have – it can't just come from me. Somebody else has got to tell the truth and quit trying to be everybody's buddy. I think it's just a society we live in nowadays. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be cool, and sometimes that's not the way to be. Everybody wants to be everybody's got the answers, but it's tough decisions that get you tough times, tough decisions, and men have to step up. And I finally think we started doing that last week. I had a players-only meeting on Friday night before the game. I was told it went well. I have no idea what all was said, but a lot of energy out there Saturday. And what we've got to do is try to match the energy. We do a really good job on the road and how we travel. There's not a lot of distractions. People think it's harder to go on the road. I think at this level it's a little easier, except for the long trip. But once you get them in a hotel and kind of get them bedded down and they're away from distractions, and there's going to be a lot of distractions this week with Pig Pickin and people coming in. That's a good thing. You just got to be good enough to handle it. And we have to find ways, and that's what our charge is as a staff, is to find ways to play better at home. And because we feel like we played some of our best ball games since we've been here on the road, and we've got to make it where we play better at home.
As far as Shorter goes offensively, just talk about some of the things that they do well.
they've shown that they've got great schemes. They're trying to change from being an option attack to being a more wide open attack. And I think anytime you go through that transition, when you've recruited to a certain type of player, especially up front, lineman wise, it's hard to make that transition. But I think their coach is doing a great job. Quarterback looks good to me. They've got some guys that can make play at receiver. Their running back, McCoy from a year ago, still hasn't played. He's a very good player. Don't really know what's going on with that. But, if he's here Saturday, which I expect him to be here Saturday, I mean, he'll be a difference in the game. He's a really good player.
Coach, your running backs on Saturday, they're battling through all sorts of pressure. Talk about the play, especially DeJuan Blair had a few great runs in that second half.
Yeah, I thought DeJuan came to play, and that was an emphasis of us to give him the ball more as a coaching staff, and Coach Fletcher did a good job, and DeJuan's done a great job of staying ready to roll, and he got rolling in the second half pretty good, and he was a couple of tackles away from breaking a couple more, and we had a run in the first half that Chris got out in the first half, and there's good defense. Against most people that's a touchdown, and they caught him, backside rover, made a great play, and tackled him from behind for about a 15-yard gain, but felt like our O-line and our running backs played extremely hard and played well. Thought they played really well. They attacked, which was fun to see.
Coach, when you're putting together that schedule and you have A&M Commerce and West Georgia back-to-back, aside from getting the results, that's the obvious. Did you feel like you got what you wanted out of the football team from those two games?
I feel like we improved from the Commerce game to the West Georgia game. I wish we'd have played as hard as we did against West Georgia against Commerce, because I felt like we didn't do it. And it's like I told our guys after the game, now this is what we expect, but now you expect this every week, and it's hard, man. It's what people talk about all the time. Everybody thinks it's easy. It's not easy to play with that effort 10 straight weeks. It's not easy to play with that focus 10 straight weeks. That's why you've got to have talent. You've got to get a little lucky. You know what I'm saying? We've had several games since I've been here where people had us dead to rights and should have beaten us because we weren't putting our best effort out there for whatever reason. But in times past, sometimes we've been good enough to overcome that. Sometimes we hadn't. And this football team right now, as beat up as we are, as injured, guys injured, we have to bring that focus, and we have to, we have to play like every game's a win or go home type of game. Just to be honest with you, we got to play. If we want to go to the postseason, we got to get on a roll, and it all starts this Saturday, and we just got to take them one at a time. And we can't play the game today. Today's Monday, so we got to do what it takes to win on Monday, and then we got to do what it takes to win tomorrow. Prep days on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then get focused on Friday to play a great game Saturday night.
With the guys coming home for Pig Pickin, how that's got to be invigorating to, especially after the game that y'all played Saturday, tough one on the road like that.
Invigorating to what? Come home and play?
Like as far as you come home and play with.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's always good to play at home. We just have to do a better job playing better at home. I feel like we haven't played as well at home as we have on the road. That's our issue right now. Our fans deserve to see us play better, and that's what we're going to work on doing this week. But yeah, it's great to be back at home. It's great should be a big crowd here. Have a lot of recruits on campus. Should be a good day for Delta State. Hopefully we'll show up and do our part.
What was it like having Coach Jewell Williams on the sideline with you for a game?
That was great. That was a great move by him. He brought it up. I was all for it. Thought he calmed us. Did some things, made our offense play better being down there. I think he had a good feel for the game. I think he and I worked well together. We always have worked well together, but I think it was just easier because he and I were right there talking. Just got to talk to him about putting his mouthpiece up because he was doing a lot of yelling and it was coming over the sets. But he had a good time down there, and you could tell it gave us a spark offensively. That was good.
Will that be a permanent move?
Yes. I think for this team, for this year, he's going to remain down. I know he is this week. It's a good question.
Any added confidence going into this week after how they played last weekend facing Shorter, who hasn't won yet?
I think so. I think our whole team is more confident. We just played a good football team. I think we're a good football team. We should have won the game. It didn't happen. We played the game to win. Our kids fought so hard in that football game, I wasn't going to let it come down to something I did to not give them every opportunity. That's why we faked the punt. That's why we went for it on so many fourth downs. We were going there to win the game. We went for 2. Hindsight's 20/20. Some of that stuff worked, some of it didn't, but I felt like it gave our kids a chance to win. That's kind of how we are. We like to play like that. We got back to playing the way we like to play. At Delta State, we like to play with a chip on our shoulder. I mean, you walk in, there used to be barbed wire on those gates out there. I mean, that's kind of that's the way we are. It's a tough place. It's a school with a lot of pride and a lot of heart, and it's a football program that's one of the best in this state and in the southeastern part of the United States. And we played that way on Saturday, and we play all out, and we don't apologize for that. And that's what I was excited to see again, and hopefully we'll continue to play that way. That's our challenge to our players and to our coaches, to keep coaching and playing that way, because that makes us a dangerous out, so to speak, for people. That makes us dangerous, and that's the way we've been winning games since I've gotten here, and that's the way we're going to continue to.
Coach, you said you expected good things out of Zane Samuel at some point in his career. You give him his first opportunity to play, and he blocks a punt, returns it for a touchdown.
First collegiate play. Yeah. He's going to be special. I really believe that. Because, number one, he's very, very talented as a freshman. But number two, he's just a good person. He's a very humble young man. He works hard. He's very nice. And you just want to root for a guy like that. I was proud of him. We played several guys that saw their first collegiate action on Saturday and thought they did very, very well. I was proud of them. But Zane, what an impact. Come in and block a punch your first play.
Coach, can you give people an update on Brandon Gaddy?
Brandon Gaddy's fine. Brandon Gaddy was with us, got back late. Actually beat the bus home because he rode with some coaches in my car, and all the CT scans were negative. We expect him back very, very soon. Don't know if he'll play this week, but I would definitely pencil him in for next Thursday against the next opponent we play.
Coach, when you go back and watch the film, the big plays that you guys gave up on defense in the passing game,
Yeah, we just lost
all of
some
that correctable stuff?
It is, but I mean, basketball coaches talk about 50-50 balls all the time. Well, you got the same thing in football. There was a few jump balls thrown up in that game. Height advantage, mismatch, whatever you want to call it. Their guys came down with it. We didn't. We had a chance to get a couple of sacks. We just didn't finish and get them. That's a big difference in the game. They sacked us 5 times. We didn't sack them once. It's the first time, I think, since we've been here that we've gone 2 straight games without a sack, and it's the first time Tyler Sullivan has gone 2 straight games without a touchdown pass. Those are 2 big stats, kind of game within the game things that have to get corrected this week.
Coach, you had some young men step up at the receiver position. Talk about what you saw from them with some guys out.
Well, the biggest thing is we got Kayshawn Evans as a senior. He played 76 snaps at receiver Saturday, which is unheard of, and played well. Alex Pena-Roden, who had an AC separation in our first game, comes back and tried to play last week. We held him out against Commerce, and he comes back and he plays 60 snaps and was extremely physical. Marquise Carter seems like every time he gets in the game, something positive happens. He's a freshman who's going to just keep getting better. And, LaDarian Peterson is doing some nice things. We've got to find ways to get him the football, but be excited to get Josh Pinkston back for this game. We need to get Cam Myers back as soon as possible. Of course, by now everybody should know Casey Osborne's out for the season. So that's why he wasn't there with us Saturday. But, we've had guys out for the season before. Next guy's got to step up, and that group did a good job Saturday. Anything else? I appreciate y'all's time.